Hi there, I'm Claire Fletcher from Sheffield Digital, and today I'm speaking with Tom Scott, who is headmaster of marketing agency Little Mesters. Hi there, Tom. Can we start? Would you like to tell me a little bit about what Little Mesters does, please?
Yeah, I mean, in summary, we're a marketing agency, really. So we specialize, I guess, sort of in paid and paid social. But then I guess our differentiator is that we reach out to our freelance network or Mester network, and we can bolt on their skills, really. So the way I describe it normally is that if we had a client in the automotive industry, and they just wanted, I don't know, a photographer who'd worked there for a number of years, and we can just reach out and find someone who's taken those product shots in that industry, or videos or SEO in that industry, and sort of provide expert additions to the team at will, kind of thing, really.
Okay, so you are founder and owner of the company. How long ago did you create the company? And can you also tell us what you were doing before that, please?
So we're relatively young. I founded it in August 2020, so we're less than a year old. Before that, I was at another agency in Sheffield as a head of digital, sort of trying to bring on board services that we now offer. So Little Mesters, so paid social and social. And I've done various other roles before that. So I've worked at an agency in Leeds for about 5 years, where they sort of specialise in web development. They had a marketing team, and just because of that, I worked across project management roles. I did email marketing. I've done paid and normal social, of course, quite detailed and heavy PPC campaign builds. And by that I mean Google. I won't call it something different. App builds. I've done loads of stuff, but yeah, I've had a bit of a varied career.
Wow. So it's obviously a very busy role anyway, working within digital marketing, but as owner of the company as well, what might a day look like in your life at work?
Different, really. There's not a standard day, to be honest. Probably the only day that follows some sort of routine is a Monday, where we have, I guess, like production meetings and internal ones and client checkups and get things in order for the week. But generally after that, my week will follow the pattern it needs to follow. I have to wear a lot of hats as agency owner. So from finance to HR to doing the work to directing the agency to, well, everything really. And I guess the aim is, as we grow the company, is to try and hand those off. But yeah, typical day. Let's try and think about it. Helping the staff with sort of paid social and checking over campaigns and optimizing things and looking at content plans and speaking to clients, going through reports, and spending some time making sure that we're promoting ourselves well as an agency. We're quite heavy on that at the minute. Yeah, that's probably a rough day, but it really is incredibly varied. I can't really describe a normal day, which is good, I think.
To summarize, busy and varied.
Yeah, it keeps it interesting.
Awesome. Okay, so I guess given the year that we've had, everyone's been apart and working remotely for most of it, and you also work with freelancers, many of whom will be based at home or elsewhere. Are there any sort of systems and platforms that you use at Little Mesters to kind of help keep everyone connected and keep sort of, workflows centralized with your clients and that sort of thing?
Loads. So we obviously were founded in, August 2020 was not peak pandemic, but it was still very much lockdown. And which is one of the reasons I was so keen to launch it, was that the way our way of working, it really fits in well with that, the world's newfound understanding of remote working. So whenever we bring a client on board, they'll be having an internal Slack channel, and the clients will be invited to that Slack channel, and there'll be a channel for that client. So Little Mesters are in there, the client are in there, and our Mesters are in there if they're part of the project teams. And then clients are always aware of who they are. They know they're not sort of full-time Little Mester staff, but they're part of that project team. And then internally we use Asana to schedule tasks. For multiple reasons for choosing that over we used to use Trello, but Asana just gives a bit more. It's nicer to look at, and you can still do Trello boards in there. It allows me to see quite easily what everyone's working on. It allows me to add in freelancers, or Mesters, as I call them for now, Mesters as we go along and scheduling tasks, and you can have task dependencies and all sorts of stuff, and you can plug in like time management tools to it. We don't do that yet, but you can do if you want to. And I'm just trying to think what else for you. So WhatsApp, try to use Slack predominantly, but if the client prefers WhatsApp, then we'll kind of go down that route. For social media management, again, which is why we use it, is Sprout Social. So it's probably the more expensive tool that we use, but that allows us to centralize all of our client channels in one place. So, and you can schedule from one place. It brings in all the messages into one feed, that when one person replies or completes it, it completes for everyone, and you can see a message history in it. And then it reports really well. It reports on paid and organic, has listening tools, it has tons of stuff. And again, crucially, all these platforms have been chosen because they've got enough profiles that allow me to add and remove team members when we go. So if we need to, I can put someone in Sprout for a specific client task, and then only give them permissions to manage certain channels and things like that. This probably won't be different, but Google Drive is pretty crucial. It's where everyone can access everything they need to. So every client has a client shared folder where we're in and they're in, and all the assets are there, reports are all there, everything's standardized in terms of folder layout. Those are probably the 5 main ones, or 4. Trying to think what else we use. We have other things like Timetastic and the stuff like to book holidays and stuff that I think most agencies use. Calendly is what we use to book out some meetings sometimes. Basically, if we can optimize it or use a tool for it, we'll try and find it.
Yeah, so as much automation and yeah, centralizing things as possible.
Yeah, anything that allows us to add and remove team members and control it quite well is useful to us.
Yeah, okay. So I guess my next question, you'll be coming at this from both angles of both a business owner but also a digital marketing expert. What would you say are the most important skills that you need to do your job?
My job, I think it's remaining calm, because I mean, this is probably very specific to me, but you'll probably find a lot of people who start agencies start with a partner or several partners. I did this kind of on my own. I think for multiple reasons, I wasn't quite sure if I was going to stay freelance and grow or whatever. So I kind of just started it as it was. But there's no one, when you do that, there's not a lot of seniority to bounce ideas off, or in some ways to enjoy the success and to comfort you. That's probably the wrong word, but sort of like cushion the blows if you have bad days, which, you know, even the most successful agencies have bad days. They might not tell you about it, but they do. And then it's kind of keeping a calm head, being able to delegate tasks if you do manage to get a team. I think patience, really. This is again probably very specific to me, but I found myself can get quite sucked into sort of like LinkedIn and Twitter and seeing everyone else's success and how quick it can be and all these things. And I've got better now at not compare. You just can't compare it. You have no idea, you know, what other people's company situations were if they got investment or a big client initially, and how fast they might be willing to grow. And it's everyone takes a mick at me at work, but I use a phrase quite a lot: trust the process, because it's true. I'm a firm believer if you carry on doing the right things all the time, then good things will, the results you're intending to happen will eventually happen. If you keep towing the line, it might be slower than you'd like, but if you keep doing it, things will come along.
Okay, and what would you say is the most challenging part of your role?
The battle between working on the business and in it, if that makes sense to everyone. So, you know, I need to be in charge of directing the agency, its culture, you know, letting everyone else in the team know where we're going and why we're going there and what we're doing it for. And then the need, especially whilst growing, still need to do some of the work. Oh, well, a fair bit of the work. So, yeah, that's by far the biggest challenge of the last kind of 6 months for me.
Okay, and is there anything that you know now, having done it since last summer, that you kind of wish you knew when you started?
Yeah, probably a bad answer, but how obsessed you'll probably become about it. I think you need. I gather that it's just inevitable if you start a business, but you do think about it all the time. Like in many ways, I got into wanting to do this for a little bit more control over my hours and my time, my day, and how that was structured. And then in some respects, I do still have that, but because I'm leader of a business, in other ways I really don't. Like I need to be in the office, ironically, more than I ever have needed to be in the office or available in the office to people. And booking holidays is harder because, you know, for most tasks I'm still needed. So yeah, I definitely think that I would like to be made more aware of how often you'd think about work and all the things that come with it. Yeah, be ready for that.
Okay, and finally, what would you say is the most enjoyable part of your job and your role?
Genuinely, surprisingly, I didn't know it would be, but employing people, it's been a pleasure, to be honest with you. I've enjoyed the interview process. I've enjoyed the feeling of being able to hire someone for a role and then subsequently helping them learn new skills and watching them teach me skills and generally helping the team to sort of skill up and grow, and I guess kind of in theory replace me is the idea. But no, honestly, it's been great. You get a real feeling of satisfaction out of putting a team together and watching them sort of get on. So we've been quite lucky so far that managed to pick the right people that have got on quite well as a team, and albeit we're quite small, but that works quite well. But yeah, it's been really lovely to watch people get better and better at what they do.
Fantastic. And you've done that so quickly. To say you only started, you know, the business started last year, that's happened really quickly. So it's obviously testament to how good you guys are.
I hope so.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Tom, for talking to us today. It's been really, really informative and really useful. And just, yeah, really great to hear more about your company. We'll include your web address in the notes beneath this video so people can find out more about you and more about what you guys do. And thank you again for your time.
Always, anytime.